Monster kill!
Battle begins.
The fire damage is really high against these tanky strength heroes like Tiny's, Mars. These guys really suffer against the percentage-based damage, so OG just making sure that they pick themselves the ability to kill the enemy team, so I kind of like it, but I think out of all the drafts we've seen so far, I think probably the most even one, in my opinion.
Okay, so you're saying Aster has a good shot at forcing out potential fourth game?
I mean, I'm unfortunately very biased, and I think OG is going to absolutely smash, but I think out of the 3 games that I've seen, this is probably the most competitive one.
All right.
Well, it's good that I'm biased in the other way because I really do believe in Aster. I hope they can bring it back, and I like their draft a lot more this time around. I think punish this PA really hard.
And for me, all my picks have been wrong, so I'm going to go for OG because I don't want to see a 3-0 stomp.
I don't think anybody would want to see a 3-0 stomp. Even all the OG fans in the arena would love more Dota to watch tonight. And I know 2 people who would love more Dota as well. It's Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Absolutely, She. We've had an incredible series so far. OG up 2-0 against Team Aster right now. Game 3 draft, the big change up from the start is that Mars Fog. This time round, Aster, they're going to be able to get their hands on it.
Yeah, and this time around, I'm looking at a lot more solutions, especially for the carry. I know Yuragi last time, but later, he got to do whatever he wanted because he got this last pick terribly. That looked like a pretty godly TB game. This time, he does look a lot more addressed. There's Rupture to deal with the mobility of the PA. There's the break that can come out from the Hoodwink. Lots of different forms of disable and ways of moving him around. So this one does look like the hardest one for OG.
Let's have a look. I think, Yuragi definitely was tempted to play this here after getting to see what Monet was able to do towards the end of that one. Might have been 20k down, but still picking up the kills he did. If that game was any closer, that might have been the beginning of Monet being able to take the game away from OG. Certainly took my voice away at the end of that one. Incredible final fight. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 now here between OG and Aster. And overall, what sort of stands out to you? The change up from Amar, going back to one of his classics here, the Underlord coming in as the last pick. What do you think they saw that made them feel that Underlord would have a good place this game in the grand finals?
He saw nothing else because everything was banned. Yeah. No, he was versus the 2 strength cores. I think in particular that's really nice, and also the damage negation that Atrofiora is going to provide for them to last longer in the fights. I think that's what PA needs in a lot of situations. If PA lives, we see what you can do, right? If you get to these later stages, the built-in lifesteal on the jump is pretty ridiculous, so maybe that's what they're looking for as well. The control is also just nice, too, right? I think Insania was saying it, the layer of these roots and control that can be a little annoying for a hero like Bloodseeker once a BKB starts to tick down. But let's see if he's going to make it work. To me, it does look like a much harder PA game than the setup, at least for Yuragi to carry last.
And what do you think sort of jumped out after this game that made them want to run the Tiny in a different capacity? This time having Ori playing the Tiny in the mid lane.
I think they saw the puck, so it's a clear puck mid matchup that we've seen time and time again. Tiny doing excellent versus it. I actually think Tiny might even be better versus the puck now without the side camp. Puck utilized it even better, so yeah, eyes on Ori to kind of set the pace of this game, and it could be a pretty damn good game for Tiny.
Let's see how well BZM's able to play on the puck. We saw last game, Ori definitely had his work cut out when it came to jumping around the team fights. Is there too much the BZM's going to be threatened with in this game, do you feel?
Yeah, there's a ton of disable. There's silences from Grimstroke, there's leashes, the puck, or the Tiny combo in general, because he's going to get earlier Blink Dagger. Doesn't look as easy, so I was saying, like, for BZM and for Yuragi, game looks a little tougher. If anyone can do it, OG has just looked spectacular in this grand finals.
And how are you managing sort of the safe lane goes for Aster? Would you manage so that the built-in sustain that Monet has as a Bloodseeker is going to be enough against the inevitable spam from Chu and Amar?
Yeah, it's easy for Monet, I would say. He should be able to get some pretty solid free farm. I think they can even pose kill threat much more onto Amar than Amar can pour onto Monet. Just depends on how many stacks and everything and what Chu decides to do. How good he can get disruptions to kind of stop the aggression versus Inkswell.
See sort of the difference in dynamic as well for Aster in terms of what they can expect from PQ, right, on the support Grim. Yep. Sure, you've got some buffs to throw out, but not quite on the same level as the sort of the heavier defensive supports that PQ's been playing, like the Dazzles, the Abaddons, the Wyverns.
Yeah, absolutely. Baboka, juke out those Bram nicely. Yeah, no, I agree. He still does have at least some defensive thing when you get your shard coming out as a Mar. Heavy harassment. You do have to disrupt to at least protect him for a moment, but yeah, you're already starting to see what this lane is going to start to look like quickly.
Actually, I was in on the regen from Amar. He's got a couple of tangos left, but Monet might look to dive him under the tower. He's got the Blood Bride, the Inkswell buff up to go. Has to get in and get first blood.
Yeah, it's not easy. Every time Disrupt is on cooldown, just trying to protect this Underlord is going to be very difficult versus these two. Be done from Aster. And yeah, Monet, he'll be able to sustain fine up here.
Bottom lane. Okay. Getting low, but not quite having the ability to jump and chase him down.
These side lanes are super aggressive. So everybody just constantly... Also, this always happens, right? It's like, especially lately, it's more and more. This is why Bloodseeker's value tends to go up a lot. There's so much spamming in the waves that he always is moving a little bit faster because of that thirst. Especially when it's going to be like a tiny mid, also, constantly harassing onto the puck. We're looking at mid matchup. Ori slightly ahead at the moment.
See if we get any sort of early moves towards the mid. We've seen that now both teams more focused on looking for these kills in these side lanes.
Nice move from BZM though. Shoves the wave in super hard under mid, so he's making sure he's not losing anything, and he's actually going to be able to get a rune out of it because top. We'll get a little better as those levels do get there for Amar, level 3, so level 2 atrophy to offset some of that damage is pretty nice. And he does have second bracer, unlikely to die again, but yeah. Pretty painful to set Monet off to a good start.
Oh, for sure, and yeah, if Ju's able to always hold back the disruption and use it to play around the Blood Right threat if someone's in range of it, could be able to save one another.
Just which one? He has to make a choice, right? He has to, are you going to dodge the Inkswell or are you going to dodge the Blood Right? Actually, use the glyph. It looks like Top used the glyph for the Blood Right. See too often, usually mid laners, so exclusive to have that power. As now the mid lane just gets getting harder and harder. Ori.
Deep bottom. Good angle there from XXS with the spear. Will set up for the catch.
Okay, wow, that did a lot more damage. Oh, okay, that's why. I was like, wow, that did tons of damage. Level 2 Acorn shot, so not usually something you see picked up. Usually you do see like the 2 points in Bushwhack, just one there, so. Ooh, from Baboka to me.
CS at the moment. Very, very even, really.
And Amar actually now starting to dominate the CS.
He's getting a lot of last hits. He's top of the board.
Surprising, actually. But after he gets like the full reset of HP, I guess it actually maybe helped him more than harmed him.
Points in that passive. The amount of right clicks are very hard to contest unless Monet can sort of set up the creeps to take him out with the Blood Right. Amar having a very solid chance of getting into full denies on this top lane.
His boots are finished for Monet now. A little easier for him. Huge that Amar is able to just get this tanky that they can't actually go for him at all. The double, this is just his build, right? He always does this. Double bracer offlaners, always. Even 3 sometimes.
He's gonna have that ring of health on him very shortly after this delivery from the courier, so he's gonna be super tough to harass out of this lane.
They can't push him out. They have to come in for kills pretty much if they want to stop him there. As bottom, the connect. Ooh, it gets cut right away.
Immediate response there from Uragi with the Quelling Blade.
Even though, so far, PA getting slowed down a little bit. Same thing for the Bloodseeker. Tiny just having that outstanding game, as we mentioned, you know, the matchup.
We'll see it again there. A very, very quick move that stun comes to an end, and didn't Tiger might have been in trouble.
Yeah. Success also getting that free farm. Mars is able to do at the tournament, especially in these last few games, is how dominant this hero's been. Both of these players' hands too. It's the important thing. You know, everyone talks about Amar and his Mars. XXS is a beast on this hero.
Very hard for OG to get aggressive on him anytime that Baboka's in the area. Huge amounts of burst physical available from these two, the Mars and the Hoodwink.
Taiga's just really squishy, especially versus who he has to be super careful. If you ever use this Shadow Realm aggressively, we'll quickly get turned on.
We'll see. BZM, I believe, just headed back, grab those bounties from his half of the map.
Ooh, nice orb. Max range, actually. That's creep.
Let's have the level 6 online, so potential now for reactions to any side lane play.
And now Aster probably even more unlikely to go for too aggressive of a play up top onto Amar. They haven't been able to anyway because of this insane regen he has, but BZM always will be there to react if they do make an aggressive move.
He's not going to be an easy hero to kill this game, Amar.
But he wants to leave the... literally nobody has left. They're all just sitting stagnant in the side lanes.
TP now, Baboka. Ready to change things up. He'll come in towards the top lane. You can get the setup on Chu, but Chu, very quick with the disruption.
They got a
so
quick
there's
move.
no chance for Baboka to catch him.
Or he gets the solo kill.
He did over in the mid lane. A solo kill on the 1v1. We'll see if Aster can also find something out of his top play. They may just do so. The setup's there from Baboka. Acorn shot into the bushwhack. He'll cut the tree down, and he has got the hook, so Mar's very tanky.
He ran into the root.
He runs into the root. Monet gets caught on the way out.
Monet, a big mistake there. He walked into the second one.
And that mid lane play, I'm sure we'll be able to get a replay of it, but looks like just stepping up, catching him in the combo, Ori having just enough damage to take BZM down.
It looks like he just got on top of him. Enough burst. After the first one, he got him to like half HP. The secondary one must have just been enough. As yeah, top of Mar, the tankiness proves to be too much. A hood now finished, also able to counteract them easily. The 3 points in Atrophy are definitely coming into play. They could not commit onto him.
Now, Monet just doesn't have the damage at all to really offer in an attempt to take down this Underlord.
And that was Baboka. Baboka was the one who tried to gank top, and he actually kind of ganked his own safe lane in a way.
OG, they're still hanging around for more action. Chu's got the setup. He'll be able to step out of this.
Here comes Ori.
And with the fourth hero, they could threaten Amar. They'll try and charge him down. They've caught him in the avalanche. And with 4 heroes, surely he can't walk out of this one. And indeed he can't. Aster finally able to shut down Amar on this top lane.
I believe he TP'd with the Arcane Rune as well, so TP will be up faster for Ori. A quick, easy move. All kind of sequences of what happened when you get that solo kill mid. You guarantee yourself the power rune, and that could kind of set the tempo for this early game. Ori having this excellent start. His blink is going to be so fast. He's already 600 away.
BZM's definitely got to keep his sort of sights set on finding that kill opportunity with the Dream Core to really jump him back into the game. Is starting to slip behind in gold.
Yeah, Ori's probably like, yeah, I had a really hard puck game. Now I'm going to make you have a very tough puck game. He is quite addressed this time around. Not into a Nyx Assassin, but a Tiny with a Blink Dagger super early is probably even more threatening.
Continued focus really around that top lane. Does mean that down bottom, Ragi's having a pretty chilled time. Not really too much that's been thrown his way so far.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely they make an aggressive move and they bring like the Bloodseeker or the Tiny. They still can go for like rupture plays and tossbacks and everything too, which is always going to be a big element. Iraqi's game just the setup.
Preparing some of the stacks here. Same to be said over on OG's side of the map, Chu. Making sure there's a good amount to farm here in the triangle.
Lane.
The setup, Tiger. Got the Fairy Fire. He's going to be able to step out of that one.
The tree.
Ooh. Oh, down to about 19 HP there, Tiger.
If Ori actually gets the tree throw off before he gets the disruption, then they would probably get the kill because he doesn't have the bonus armor, but might get it off. A nice play from Chu. Always seems to really excellent this game, or this entire series, this whole tournament.
The whole tournament, stepping in as he has. And
he's always in the right place, like to save people. Now he's gonna take a stack of his own. He wants to get his level 6 in some timing.
See Aster towards the top lane, but just with the two of them, I mean, how much of a chance do they stand of killing Amar? Can they make a rupture play on him, or is it just not going to happen?
No, they need a third hero. I think just the two of them, it's never really going to work. He can just TP after rupture as well goes off, or just even stand his ground under his Firestorm. They need to have the Tiny or the Hood 6. Another stack coming out, Baboka. I actually think he missed that one. Huge hard camp stack though, so Ori, I believe that is Blink Dagger now done. So pace of the game is going to kick up quickly here for Aster. Yeah. But at the same time, BZM, they're looking to make their own hit.
Be able to catch XXS here with the Bramble, the Fear control as well. Of course, the Fear and the Dream Coil combo causing the snap to occur.
Nicely done.
And making that move just at the point which was almost certainly moments before Aster were to look to make a move themselves down there. The Blink Dagger done on Ori. He wants to try and catch out Yuragi.
What again?
Can do it now.
Up.
They need to burst through PA. See Baboka setting up with the ultimate. He'll turn to the side. They'll get the break hit in. It's not quite enough damage straight away to take down Yuragi, though.
Okay, because they split the damage.
And he's now able to turn potentially Tiger. Comes in from the side. You'll see Amar ready to jump across from the other side of the map. They'll get back in onto Ori. They'll take him down. Chu hits the 6, has the Demonic Purge. They'll be able to set him to look for Baboka as well. The arena's out. Disruption from Chu. He giving that safety towards Yuragi. Yuragi may still be able to keep this fight going. He's going to TP out safely. They cannot stop his escape. Yuragi gets out. Tiger as well escapes. Only BZM left behind as Monet will manage to swing over, at least find something there for Aster.
What a save, though. Chu again, I mean, every single time. Amar also, he comes bottom, says hello, goes straight back to top, wants to keep getting that farm impression
Look how much money he's got. He's got 2,000 gold in the bank here.
This is going to be an incredibly early 8-toast before Bloodseeker's even anywhere near a BKB, so the control from Amar, it's going to be problematic for this Bloodseeker. And yeah, that whole sequence happens because Aster, they kind of split because Yuragi, he blurred in, and it kind of like messed with them. Like they both kind of went for these different targets, but Boca getting the snipe on the PA while the combo goes on the puck.
They'll be able to stick around and push for the tier 1, but we'll see again towards the end of that fight. You know, it was a good job that Monet did turn up, because without his presence, they wouldn't have been finding anything in this engagement. But again, Chu just absolutely on point here with the spell usage, making sure that Yuragi, he's not threatened at all.
I think it's such a heads-up play, though, what Amar does. Like this, you know, TP down, collect the damage, because when you kill the heroes, of course, you know, you get that extra attribute. TP's back top, gets a tower, gets extra farm. He tends to do this. He's super farm-heavy, but it usually pays off for him as, yeah, top of the net worth. He actually goes for the pipe instead. So, tanking up versus the magic damage that Aster has, and maybe just wanting to show up to every single team fight then, rather than being the catch, he's just going to negate all that damage. Because then maybe, you know, Puck is going to survive the burst in situation. Tiny if the Underlord is in the area.
See Aster, of course, they'll continue to try and hit OG with these moves. Smoke up on Ori and PQ. So has the Invis rune as well if they need to close the gap further. XXS, Arena ready to drop.
Yeah, really cool how he decides to do this. Tries to tank up his whole team rather than going for a catch. Amar just feels like if they just tank the fight, they'll end up winning it, I guess. So pipe into the Wraith Pack now.
I think for the most part, you know, if you sort of consider what Aster have, it will be Aster having to throw their bodies into the front of the team fight to get that jump.
Full bottom. Ori, he knows.
The setup.
Is it enough though?
And they got the follow-up.
Oh, he doesn't latch.
He's not able to latch in time. He phase shift, jumps out of the side. Chu buys time to protect him with the Tribute. XXS will drop the arena, but BZM still alive. Silence comes into play to try and stop the fear from Tiger, but as it comes to an end, Tiger still gets the fear off, pushes back XXS. XXS cannot run.
Some of these, sometimes you see that, and it's so crazy how it happens, but I think actually the toss cut one of the trees that was where the spear is going to connect. I mean, it's super random how that happens sometimes, but either way, OG, they benefited from it massively. XXS now twice getting brought down.
And these saves from Chu. Aster, they've got to have someone dealing with the Shadow Demon.
Yuragi's getting all the space in the world, and now we mentioned those ancient stacks that they've been prepping for him. It's like a 5x ancient
That's
for
massive.
this PA.
Oh my goodness, we saw how much Monet was able to do towards the end whilst he was playing from so far behind. In this game, Yuragi, he's going to be playing from the top.
He's already spamming the chat wheel. He's so happy. Pretty massive, just being able to keep this farm for Yuragi. He's now going to catapult forward past this Bloodseeker. Aster, it feels like they have to start making some more aggressive moves to try to slow down this PA, but
they have to keep going with Ori.
It keeps getting counteracted. Like, oh, gee, they're prepared for it, or somehow they end up surviving it, or bring the numbers. Like Amar, he's looking. I mean, he's like sitting mid, kind of AFK. I think he's just waiting for wrist opportunity. Yep.
Yeah, he's going to look to try and join the fight because Monet headed out alone, and
He's
with
dead.
nothing to protect himself, he's gone.
Oh man, oh, and OG's just finding every single opportunity.
Yeah, and Aster's, they're not finding the catch.
No, and they're drafted. Like, we mentioned the PA, he has a lot of things that he's dealt with, and like there's a lot of counters to him, but he's getting way too much on the map.
He's ahead. See if they can burst through Amar. They catch him in the river. Set up there, along with the sharpshooter, have to drop pretty much everything to kill him, but it is a success. They take out Amar.
Honestly worth it. He is being so annoying this game. They have to get more out of it though. I think they have to try to pressure this tower now. 25 seconds without the Underlord.
They've got to continue to play fast.
It's a full HP tower though. It's not going to be easy.
One steps up, Ori. He's be ready with the blink jump.
Not die fast though.
Reveal himself now. They're hitting with the scan. They know that OG's hiding on the other side of the lane.
Some tower damage here, but not the whole thing whatsoever. As Yuragi just continues. Camps up. Incredible timing. You see his levels. 13 now. Bloodseeker only 11. Very good.
Now that OG's grouped up as the four of them around this mid, it's a very dangerous place for Aster to be anywhere near. They're still going to try. Ori in with the jump combo.
That's
They get him up pretty deep here under the tier 1, but OG, they're close by. They can back him up. And now BZM steps in, Dreamcoil onto the two of them. They'll turn to deal with PQ as PQ taken out. Aster, they've got to back off. It feels like they may be running out of options here, Aster. Despite the goal being close, they're going for these plays that seem a little bit desperate.
yeah. I mean, they're going for Amar, the 2,000 HP pipe hero. They're committing quite a lot onto him a lot of the times too. Yaragi now he can join in for the fray.
See the jump again from Ori. Immediate shadow up the perfect punch thrown down on him. He's not able to get the catch. The fear out onto the two of them. Ori's gone. Let's see if they can turn with the arena. They've caught Amar. Big kill to find. Spear wasn't needed to hit, but it still gets the job done. Silence as well catches out BZM. Okay. A very well needed couple of kills there for Aster. Onto two of the cores of OG. This time OG getting caught out.
And Monet has BKB now, and as we said, you know, PA still has to watch out versus all these counters. Aster finally finds something going their way. Huge pickups onto the two cores.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be another a rough move there with Ori sort of dying at the start, but was able to sort of tempt OG into a fight that Aster did have the capabilities to turn there. Having the arena ready to go, XXS, and of course being as tanky as he is, BKB at the ready. They can't quite go on the Mars without considering how much they have to throw down to threaten him. XXS, he's starting to become a bit of a problem.
Yeah, bit of an overextension there from OG, gets quickly punished. It was kind of clutch timing. Like honestly, I really feel like Aster, they did need that for the Bloodseeker to make sure that he's able to keep up with the PA. Yaragi was starting to run away with that farm, but now Monet, BKB's done. He can look to join every single one of these fights.
Nice little find here as well for Monet, the Brigand's Blade.
The dream.
Extra damage, allowing to commit in these fights with the BKB Maelstrom.
Also, they get a couple, with those kills, they do get a couple extra big items too. The Grimstroke now with the Shard. This could be something to offset a lot of that burst damage and control that OG does have.
Do have the sort of the tools to enable Monet to pop off in these team fights.
Sure do. We said the core-to-core matchup this time around. Last time was Yaragi with this huge advantage. Monet versus that PA. That Rupture's always going to be a big thorn in Yaragi's side.
Saber now done for Ori, so extra level to the burst that he'll have when he gets the jump.
Amar did switch constantly. At the Wraith Pack Q, now BKB because he's scared of the big burst.
See Ori, he's going to go for another jump on Amar. TPs are coming in. Can they kill him quite quick enough? Chu offering up the disruption. Sharpshooter's going to be there up to the side. Will land over towards Chu. Monet pops the BKB, focusing down Amar. Amar trying to get out there with a teleport. He's able to do so. Back to the fountain. Amar escaped.
And Monet, BKB's done.
Ori's going to try and get the jump off again. He's backing onto Yaragi with the toss combo. Yaragi gets burst there by the magical damage of the Grimstroke and the Bloodseeker. OG, they're still trying to fight. Amar's able to reset Portal back into the action, catching out Ori with the Dreamcore BZM. And Ori turns with the Avalanche. He tries best to juke this out. He's got Blink up in a second. He'll blink down. Just to find him. Curse Ground hits. They will. OG still able to find the majority of the kills in that, despite this time losing their carry. Yaragi does go down.
Aster still probably pretty okay with it. They lose Ori, but Monet able to scurry away. Look a little scary for him for a second too, because his BKB was falling off, but they didn't have anything further to catch. Yeah, Yaragi, I'm surprised he actually showed up to this fight. Like, he was very close, getting closer and closer to BKB, but once they get involved, gets punished.
Can they catch BZM? Be down to Babuka.
Let's see, he's sneaking.
Find him in the trees. Corner. He tries for an attempt. Won't quite be able to find him. Already out with a phase shift in the jump. BZM will be safe. TP just coming back online.
And now he has Blink Dagger of his own, so much more elusive in the fights and will be easier access onto the Hoodwink and this Grimstroke that he's kind of has to go for as this puck in the fights.
See how quick Aster is going to be to look to try and take another fight.
Let's see how much they can tank up too. The pipe could be pretty massive for OG just to offset a lot of that damage, and they don't really have anything that they can. Then Veil is actually finished for Taiga, so a lot of magic damage that OG does actually have. I think that Aster, is amped up.
They want to group up and go Aster. Here's the smoke.
I think this is exactly what they have to do, really. Yep. Blink on XXS as well too. They have an easier form of initiation. They're feeling strong right now.
I mean, we saw that last fight. It was very close to being an overwhelming win for Aster if they were able to kill Amar before he portaled out.
They might get Yaragi. He has BKB coming on the courier.
Oh, he's already out. Jumps over the creep wave.
Oops.
So whatever happens now, BKB will be ready to pop here for the PA unless they can burst him. They're on the high ground. He might not expect the jump, but no, already the BKB's there.
He's jumping
in. He knows that they're going for the play on him, and he'll turn to make the play on them. Fear out to start to push Ori back. BGM's onto the back line. side, catching the 2 support with the Dream Coil. They take down Ori, take down Baboka, take down PQ. XXS also to fall. OG, they were prepared.
The shadow, it's so crazy how these little things always add up, but the shadow poison, it breaks the blink of the Tiny. They can't get the initial jump.
And straight to Roshan.
And it's right into Roche.
I mean, what a reaction there. I mean, you could feel it. Aster felt that they were in a perfect position to make that jump onto Yuragi. They're up on the high ground, they see the PA, but the next thing they know, he's on top of them.
Such confidence, right? Like, he just BKB jumps, he knows his team is going to be there for the backup. OG continue to just make this magic work for them. Level 17 PA on the way toward the Shard next.
Definitely becoming quite the problem here, Yuragi. See, once again, this replay, they're up on the high ground, but as you say, just the way that OG, and in particular Chu, was able to mess with their ability to get that jump.
Chu is honestly just, he's honestly pretty much the MVP for me in a lot of these games for OG. The little things that he's able to do, the saves, breaking blinks, just kind of reading the map also to understanding where the movement's coming.
Yeah, no, this man's insane. The plays that he's coming out consistently at Elan, and there's a relatively new face in terms of playing here at the tier 1 level. He's crushing it.
Yeah, and I really wanted to highlight him also because he's about to have Aghanims done, Owen. And this unlocks a whole new potential of the hero. The break, 3 different break charges. Also, when you get Shard as well, you get 3 of your defensive purge things that can just totally kind of protect the PA in a lot of situations. Yeah, OG somehow just doing it over and over again.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Getting ready to push on here with the Aegis in their hands. The 2 tower, what sort of a defense Aster can pull together. Yuragi.
They're smoking just the 2 back heroes. Shadow keeping in the puck.
He's just able to walk up and get the opening onto XXS. XXS will be able to put the BKB, turns up towards Yuragi, catches him with the Inkswell into the spear, but the pipe buff's there, keeping Yuragi protected, and they don't want to overcommit for a PA with an Aegis. They'll turn with the Rupture. Yuragi jumps to the side, trying to force Aster to go a little deeper if they want to take the Aegis out of his hands. And Aster, they can't. They'll be able to protect the Aegis here on Yuragi, OG.
Look how Amar plays. Like, he's just literally standing on top of his PA to just block any spells, any toss combos, anything. He's trying to ensure that there's no toss-back funny plays anymore. If they're going to toss back anybody, it's going to be Amar. Really good coverage again and again by OG. Playing aggressive here now, finding their footing with this Aegis. Now it's tough for Aster. They've been wanting to kind of play at this fast pace, but playing into Aegis now kind of halts the aggression. Gives OG the time to get this PA fatter and fatter.
I've got the halberd now, Monet, so a good opportunity to shut down some of the moments of Yuragi's physical damage output in the fights if you can be quick with the disarm.
Does mean that his damage is getting quite a bit weaker though. Sure, he does have Brigand's Blade, at least he has purchased up the Shard, which at least will help, but a very defensive item that he's gone for. Probably feels necessary. PA's damage is starting to get quite insane. Level 18 is about to be picked up. Deso on the horizon. Yeah, you see Aster, I think they are definitely feeling quite reluctant to make any type of aggressive move at Aegis.
Yeah, they may just have to wait this 2 minutes or so out.
Yep. Somehow like split push side lanes and just try to catch people with toss plays, but OG, they're just not giving that window, and it's also scary playing into the Underlord. It's similar to the concept of like Dawnbreaker. You go for an aggressive move on one side of the map, Amar is going to come in and bring a pipe to kind of counteract all that aggression. Gathered up.
Ori, he's alone on the bottom. I've said it's going to be there from BZM. Amar ready to follow it up. As indeed, as you say, Aster, Ori trying to go for a bit of split push, but of course OG, they've got all the tools to punish it.
They always just bring the numbers.
Oh, see, Aster, they're trying to prepare for the return. As they're here by the portal, Amar, he'll nope his way back out of there.
But
back towards the bottom because he's tanked the Rupture.
Okay.
Demonic Purge thrown down onto Monet, cutting him out. Yuragi going to look to try and commit in, has been held back by the disarm for now. They'll see to be able to bring down Tiger, but Yuragi's still a problem. He's at full HP. Aster, they don't want to get anywhere near this PA.
Tried to set up for the rift, but everybody jumps in from OG to join.
Yeah, we saw as soon as he gets the Rupture on him, Amar's just straight back out of there.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'll pop back.
And then I think he TP'd back afterwards, right? He TP'd onto the outpost that they have, so they still could just bring the number advantage versus Aster.
I mean, that, conceptually, that is a huge thing to do, right? If anyone does get ruptured, Amar just drops down the Dark Rift, you just head into the Rift.
Yep, and then you come back afterwards. Stays up for 20 seconds, Rupture's only that 12. Ori Shows his face for a second, gets hit, and now, I mean, Chu, Aghanims is done. So we said unlocks a whole different potential of the hero.
I mean, he hasn't died this game.
He has not.
1-0-11. They've never been able to punish the Shadow Demon.
No, it's phenomenal play really from him. And we haven't even gotten to really talk about what Disseminate has gotten to do, because it's a kind of a new spell, but you can definitely feel the power of it. It makes, kind of the concept of it is it makes tankier heroes squishier. Let's make it the kind of easy way. Sure, it makes all this cleave and stuff like that.
Yuragi.
Definitely feeling the
He
impact.
wants to charge in with these final moments of the Aegis. He's going to get the jump in over towards Baboka.
Oh man, and they're starting to run away with the game again. 30 seconds on this Aegis, but they've gotten so much out of this Aegis. The map control.
I mean, Monet is still, of course, incredibly farmed, but question is if he's going to be able to provide such an explosive fight from behind as he was able to do on the PA.
It's him versus the world, and he's not a PA.
See Aster setting up.
Ori
already the jumps there onto Ori. Ori's going to get caught out by OG before Aster could even make a play. This time they'll catch Chu in the arena into the silence. They will take him out. See what more they can find though. BZM, he's in on top of PQ. Yuragi turns towards Monet, ready to stand his ground against the Bloodseeker. He's ready to chase them down as well. They'll try and hold them back with the Soulbind. Monet will manage to get the TP off in time, but XXS caught out beyond the tower by BZM and Tiger. Is 3 dead yet again on Aster, and OG, they finally lose Chu, but that's all they lose.
Oh, and they just keep finding Ori. He's having one of the rougher games I've seen in such a long time. 2-6-2. BKB still not done. He actually held the Echo Saber rather than doing the disassemble play that we do see a lot of the times. He's gone for just picking up all the extra components, and he's paying for it. They keep just controlling him and bursting him down with all this magic damage.
And understandably, Chu has definitely been the threat. They really commit in for him there. It cost them.
And it's his deep ward also that was not taken out. We didn't really talk about it, but north of this fight, that ward is almost full duration. So giving them that sight to get on top of Ori and just always initiate on him. 7K lead now for OG with a PA, with now a freshly picked up Deso, level 20 picked up too, and the Titan Sliver. Everything's coming together. The game's getting harder and harder. Monet!
Tiger just starts the fight onto Monet. He pretty much takes him down to a 3rd HP on his own. He will die for his attempt there, Tiger. But very much seeing the potential when he gets that setup and no BKB ready to protect him. Monet taking huge amounts of damage from the Dark Willow alone. I mean, Yuragi's still hanging around the area.
Blurred up.
Be seeing if he finds a pick-off on his zone.
They're trying to save I think they're trying to protect their ward as long as possible.
Could be a bit risky. Aster have the numbers here this time if OG do try and push into the fight. And Amaro is teasing some of the action. They won't head into the triangle. They know that they're outnumbered here. They may have to lead OG, but not to a point where they can take a fight 3 versus 5.
No, definitely not. They thought about it though, Chu, because he has the break. I think he was probably maybe saying we might just be able to annihilate, delete this Mars before the fight starts, but OG playing still disciplined. They should, as we've seen Aster, even when they're at a deficit, have been able to take some remarkable fights this series. This one definitely feeling harder, but see what they can do. XXS!
Gonna miss the spear. Curse Crown kicks in. Monet will try and keep him covered with the blood right. Causing OG to be careful with how they jump in. Ori over to the side, he's got to be careful. He'll jump in himself, actually voluntarily over towards Amal. Toss him back, but they've lost the load.
Double rupture.
Soulbind into the double rupture. XXS commits in, but the BKB's off in time here from Yuragi. Yuragi attempts to stand his ground.
They're porting out.
Yuragi's getting low, but they're rifting out. They're away. They head into the rift. They get out of there. Tiger will stick around. He wants to keep fighting. He's in on top of Ori. As Ori will run, but Yuragi resets, he's back in, jumps forward, takes down Ori. Again, Amar just providing these perfect capabilities for OG to reset and choose how they want to take the fight or get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, they're on some kind of genius level stuff, right? From the draft now, they probably had this concept maybe in their back pocket, and it's working out perfectly.
You get ruptured, you get out of there.
Yep, and then come back and you say, oh, okay, no more ruptures, no more Soulbind. 10K lead, Yuragi now having freedom in the fights. And that's, I mean, this was one of the more ideals for Aster. The BKBs did get off though. If XXS gets the spear pre-BKBs, which is, I mean, pretty impossible, then the fight probably goes their favor, but OG covering their bases perfectly every single time.
Yuragi pretty much having a full bash done after that fight. It's going to be even harder for Monet to be able to stand toe-to-toe with him in a team fight.
Now he might not even be able to walk away. A lot of these times, the only reason that Monet's actually surviving is because he's able to actually distance himself away from this PA. Now 1 or 2 bashes, Monet might just die.
Tiger, very far out on his own, but they don't see him up here for now. Now, Ori, okay, he reveals himself there, and Ori very quick to get the jump.
Being a little too cocky again, Taiga. He has the blink dagger, so like kind of playing that he can blink away, but yeah, Ori claps that down. And now Ori, like we said, does have BKB, so a little bit safer. But yeah, 3-7 and 3. They kind of have to stay in the area around the Roche pit too. This is going to be the next big determining factor if they're able to win a fight around it.
So difficult for them to take a team fight.
It really is.
It comes down to these two carries at even net worth. We're very much feeling how much more explosive the PA can be.
Yeah, like if they don't, it's always like kind of finding supports, right? But if they don't find Chu, and Chu's able to just like get all 3 of his demonic purge off, one onto Mars, one onto Bloodseeker, and maybe just another one onto Bloodseeker afterwards, or onto Tiny, fight is not easy.
Smoke time from both sides. Knowing the importance of being able to try and start this fight around the potential Roche respawn.
Ori has to get the initiation off. He has to just try to delete some hero. If they get initiated on the side of Aster, I think
DD rune in the bottle.
In one shot most of the supports if he does find them.
Ju would be the big catch. Bursting through BZM's a little bit more difficult. He has got the components of the Eon Disc ready to assemble.
CMR also picking the Lincolns, so trying to prevent versus that Rupture. Throwing it onto Yuragi probably inside of those fights, because then if Yuragi does not get ruptured, he is going to rip the fight apart.
Dire are scared.
Back up.
He smokes up, but Aster do have the high ground.
They also just got a full AC on Monet, so quite a bit stronger.
See how they can start the fight. Ready though.
3-man room.
OG's able to lead in on towards them. Aster's getting forced back. XXS has to put the BKB early.
It's a BKB to run though.
They can chase on after this. Blink from XXS will break him a far enough distance away. You'll see BZM drop the coil hit. Trying to tease out a BKB reaction from Monet. It won't come into play. He can step out.
Great play there with the Inkswell. Knowing they can hold the BKB, but now no BKB on the Mars. Does OG perhaps just start focusing onto the Roche? I think they probably can with the PA. And Aster, the pressure's on them. They have to kind of just keep poking their face and scouting out that Roche area soon. Even though they don't have BKB on XXS, this is a very difficult fight now for them.
And OG know that. They want to take this fight.
Yuragi sneaking in.
I mean, Monet showing in the river.
Yuragi
he's in first hit bash straight away, but both were eliminated. Bash as well from the dagger over towards Monet. Put the BKB. Soulbind trying to hold back both Amar and Monet, but there's no control. As Monet has to run, they've caught Yuragi in the arena. That's Yuragi jumping forward, picks up a double kill. As he's incredibly low, but he's backing off away from the fight. He's still alive. In fact, he jumps back in, but it's into an avalanche. It's 3 dead on OG. Ori still alive here for now, alongside both Monet and PQ. Finally, Aster even able to find more. Ori is in with the jump to Amar, see if they've got the damage. He has got BZM here to help him out. Amar's going to charge straight over towards PQ. Ori getting incredibly low. BZM, he's able to take him out at the end of it. Amar trying to get out with the rift. He'll manage to reset back to base. Aster, they'll get a few kills themselves, but again, not without their own casualties.
A pretty damn good fight, though. Monet's actually able to get the Rupture off, and then they see the TP out, and then they get the leash from the Soulbind to stop the TP onto Yuragi.
And yeah, an incredibly split fight there.
Yep.
Monet surviving, and well on the way now towards the Mjolnir.
Yeah, this AC actually, you know, him going for this kind of defensive pickups of items, the Halberd, the AC, he's very tanky, and it provides pretty good tankiness for his teammates, too, to survive a little longer.
I'll see it again here.
Right when it ends.
Now, Ori, fair few fights now where he struggled to sort of have the impact that he'd want to with the way that OG's been able to get the catch on him. This time round, a fair few spells causing issues for OG. Still, the tankiness and the ability to relocate out of the action with the Rift. Maybe bring Amar's moves. Right back in the action. I see both teams look to kick it off again.
Broken.
Has got the BKB charge, holding on to it for now.
Yuragi's
still have outpost control, OG, so indeed Yuragi's going to be able to join them for this fight.
And that ward's still on the high ground. It's seeing Aster back away.
Tiger's trying to see if he can get the catch with BZM, and BZM's in to get the dream coil onto the two of them. PQ in trouble. Monet has to put the BKB, or he's going to commit in. Jumps over towards Yuragi, but hasn't got nearly enough damage to burst through this PA. As he'll put the BKB, or he tries to grow the arena's there. Yuragi getting very, very low. The fear,
he's alive.
And catches the three of them. Tiger controls Aster and makes sure that Yuragi can live, stand his ground and heal back up.
I think they even used the Lincolns. I didn't know if I think he used the Lincolns onto Yuragi too, right before the Rupture comes out, so no Rupture either. OG again taking the fight. Taiga with his, with his Dark Will this whole tournament also.
Perfectly placed
every
there.
time. Always controlling everybody.
This team, the one to be caught in the arena of XXS, but bang on target there with a 3-man fear.
Uh-oh, PQ? Urged up.
He's going to get slowed down. They do have buybacks available on Aster, but they're going to be hesitant to want to use them. As
Tiger
gets in, cleans up the action.
And Amar gets that bonus damage, the Atrophy Aura. See how much he's doing to the
And
tower
they're taking
here.
Roche as well, of course. Yuragi able to easily solo this. So not only severe base damage being done to Aster, Yuragi, he'll be ready to turn up, and over he comes with the ultimate, immediately ready to continue this push from OG.
This is just, again, amazing team play, amazing team fights over and over again from OG, kind of covering each other perfectly. Always there with the saves, always there with the control and number. 14K. How can Monet do this by himself?
It's a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Especially into like so much damage mitigation. Amar, now he's finally going to start bringing Wraith back down as well soon.
Trying to start things off, or he's looking for the toss back, but he's not able to find it. Defensive disruption comes out for Chu. Yuragi still tanks the sharpshooter shot, but that's the BKB from Ori. And he's having to use it to back off under the tier 4 tower. So Yuragi teasing with the jump over towards Monet.
That's the whole rupture as well too, gone. Yuragi now just continues to getting healed by Chu. That demonic cleanse, of course.
Buffing him up with the Lincolns as well, making it incredibly hard for Aster to get any sort of jump on him.
Next.
They've got to do it twice. Has that Aegis here for the push.
They have opportunities where they can do the toss-back spears into tier 4s, but it's not easy.
They're trying again to get the angle, but they won't be able to find it. Not able to get the catch. XXS have to put the BKB. They do manage to get the pushback out onto the two of the Monet. Moving in, but the bashes are there. Yuragi turns towards Monet. Monet has to split away from them. Back to the fountain.
He's in no man's
And
land.
the bashes caught him out. As Ori out of the game for 70. No buyback on him. No buyback on PQ. As OG, they'll look to keep this push going. The backdoor protection kicks in, but a new wave of creeps will be joining soon. So OG, they're not going anywhere. They'll take this tier 3.
They're still healthy and a freshly delivered Vlad's. Amar, more lifesteal for Yuragi.
3 minutes left on the Aegis still. Yuragi can also get that completed Satanic delivered out to him.
Oh, and they're actually going to leave as a unit, go to bottom, take out the tower.
Continue this pressure. The tier 1s and tier 2s still standing on the bottom lane, but not for long. As OG will charge down this lane.
Last fights looking to be for Aster if they can try to put up some type of defense, because OG, they're going to bring it to them on this last Rax. ECM already in position. How do you even kill Yuragi once?
I don't know. I don't think you can. We saw the potential of PA when it was behind last game. This time it's completely ahead. Jumping towards the base, they take out Baboka. Has a buyback available. We'll see Ori back in 5. Aster, they'll definitely have one final fight in them.
I mean, BZM's just jumping into the base.
I'll lose the Eon disc proc here. Trying to tease out the BKB of Monet.
It's on cooldown.
It is for 5 seconds. He's got to be careful. Ori jumps in. We'll get the toss back onto Yuragi. See if they can deal with him at once, but one sprint there. Yuragi just back up at full HP. Monet tries to run, but they'll take him out. Buyback to come in from Monet. They'll turn with the sharpshooter shot over towards Yuragi, but Yuragi's still good to go. He's surrounded by his teammates. He cannot die here. As OG, they'll be back towards the objective. Monet, he gets stopped with a bash into the BKB up with the physical damage. It's down for him. He's running back to the base. He's ticking down low. He'll get back to the fountain. Monet will live for now, but Ori feared back by Tiger. BZM jumping up to the fountain. Ori's out, no buyback. As Yuragi's ready to play with them here. Right up in the fountain, OG. They've been known to dive before here. They might try to get rid of Amar. He'll get speared back into the fountain. He's dead.
But the Raxes, the Megas.
So the Megas are out.
Yuragi actually hitting tier 4s instead of going for Megas, and that will be it.
See if they can do anything 4 versus 4.
I mean, BZM just has no fear.
I mean, he's just with the 3-man dream core. Monet's in trouble. They'll try and push back. The two of them, and XXS with the spear and the rebuke will buy some safety, but it's not enough. Jump in there. Chu has the burst to finish off Monet. Out for 100 seconds. GG is gone. OG, they've done it, and they've done it clean. 3 games back to back against Aster, a team that looked terrifying in the upper bracket run. But OG, they turned up today, and they gave us